Welcome, world changers. Picture this. You've spent hours crafting a beautiful piece of code only to find it's not working as expected. Frustrating, isn't it? But don't worry, you're not alone. Even the most experienced programmers find themselves in this situation, and that's where the art of debugging comes into play. Debugging might seem like finding a needle in a haystack, but it's much more than that. It's a systematic process of identifying and fixing issues in your code. It's like being a detective, solving mysteries and cracking the code. So grab your magnifying glasses and notepads, because today we unravel the world of debugging. Start by understanding the problem. It may sound straightforward, but many times the issue lies in the fact that we don't fully comprehend what the code is supposed to do. Take time to understand the purpose of your code, the input it takes, and the output it should produce. Next, recreate the issue. No detective solves a case without visiting the crime scene. Try to reproduce the bug. Understand when it occurs, under what conditions, and what triggers it. This will give you a clearer picture of what might be going wrong. Now, time to isolate the problem. This is where your detective work gets more intense. Once you've reproduced the issue, start narrowing down the part of your code that's causing the problem. This could be a specific function, a block of code, or even a single line. Divide your code into chunks and test each one until you find the culprit. Next, you'll want to understand why the code is behaving the way it is. Look at the data, the conditions, and the logic. Ask yourself why the code isn't producing the expected results. Is it because of an incorrect data type, or maybe a logical error? This step is all about asking the right questions. Finally, fix the issue and test your code. The moment of truth. Now that you've identified the problem, it's time to correct it. But remember, the job isn't done until you've tested the code to ensure it's working as expected. So, in summary, the debugging process involves understanding the problem, recreating the issue, isolating the problem, understanding why it's occurring, and finally, fixing and testing the code. Now, here are some quick debugging tips and tricks to keep in mind. Use a debugger. It's a tool that allows you to execute your code line by line, making it easier to spot where things go wrong. Write tests for your code. It's a time-saving practice that helps you catch bugs early. Use print statements or logging. It's a simple yet effective way to see what your code is doing at each step. Don't ignore error messages. They're there to help you and often point you towards the problem. Remember, debugging is a skill that improves over time. So, don't get disheartened if you find it challenging. Keep practicing, stay patient, and before you know it, you'll be cracking the code in no time. Until next time, keep coding, keep debugging, and keep creating.